Beasts to a special little episode of that 6+++ show. This is going out YouTube only because it's going to be a very visual episode because Chris and I are going through the painting competition. This is the 6++ community painting competition, which has had a bunch of entrants. We had a bunch of you involved. And obviously what we want to do today is just review all your lovely entries, talk a little bit about what we think about them, what we liked, maybe offer some constructive criticism if we dare. I'm not really a painter, but Chris is a more talented painter than me, so Chris might offer some painting.
I'm going to rip you all to shreds.
Chris is going to get mean with it, and obviously we had some sort of prizes for podiums and a prize for best concept / conversion. So we'll announce that after we've gone through them all as well. I've no idea how long this will take. It should be quite a fun, snappy little one, but hopefully something for all you painters out there. What I would say before we start, it was lovely seeing everyone get stuck in. It was really fun seeing all the excitement. My very favourite thing was the most Warhammer thing possible, which was people. I scrolled back through all the messages, and what people said they were doing at the start was not what they did at the end. And there's nothing more Warhammer than that, right? Like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then it's like, here's this instead. I got distracted. I did something else. But really, really impressive. What do you think of the entries, Chris? What do you think of our spread here?
I think there's certainly a spread.
Yeah, that's fair, isn't it?
No, I'll try to rein in. No, I think it's great. And I think what's been really nice is, like, as a YouTube channel, we focus on one aspect of the hobby, which is the trying to play competitively.
Yeah.
And I think that it's something I've been really keen for us to do, which is try and branch out and push into more the hobby side. For so many members of the community and for so many people into Warhammer 40k, actually this is the part of it where they can really excel and show off their skills. And I've really enjoyed, like, we all know that our Discord is such a lovely place to be, but I've really enjoyed just like the supportive environment that this has had. Not only is it just, oh, well done on playing well in your game, it's now well done for your painting and that kind of like supportive thing. And yeah, I think it's really nice. And this was kind of a bit like, well, we're doing this, by the way, guys. And we still had like a bunch of entries. And our Discord's got over 500 people in.
It's bonkers.
And if you haven't signed up, you should do.
Yeah.
And so therefore, like next time we run it, it's going to be even bigger and better. Yeah. And that's really exciting, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think, as I say, it was because we were already doing it in the team. I just thought, well, let's put it to the community as well and let them get involved because we were all very excited about it. And as you say, the reaction and the response we got was amazing, really enthusiastic. So that's absolutely awesome. And yeah, I say it's only going to get bigger. It's something, having done it once, I really like it. We'll get the momentum. We'll run it again and amp up the stakes and the prizes and all sorts of things as we go as well. I'm just going to do a little readout in the chat and then we'll get started. I think I can see the comments from here. So Christopher Richardson is shaking with excitement for the stream start, which isn't great for the detail work. Andrew Chesworth says, I was on the thumbnail. You sure were. Sam Dunn says, Andrew, my money is on you or the amazing Terminator Captain. Yeah, they've obviously all been looking at each other's artwork as well. So, these guys are very eyeing up each other's game. Very, very competitive in there. But yeah, let's start looking through some of these guys. And I'll say to anyone involved in the competition, if somehow through any kind of warp witchcraft, photos have got lost, entries have got lost, etc., pipe up, shout out. I've done my best to comb back through and find everything I was sent and everything involved. Obviously, we can get you your entry fee if you haven't been involved in this stage. Right, okay. So here we go. First up, we've got, it's actually a well-known entity. It's Lovely Thierry of Luxembourg.
Ooh.
Lovely Thierry. And he has sent us his Abaddon. Obviously, the brief was a 40k infantry model, guys, with prize for best 1, 2, 3 and also best concept / conversion. So here's Abaddon. So we've got some very nice colours on the sword. We've got an Imperial Fist being dead, which makes me happy. What I think actually probably my favourite bit on this is the sort of the glow around his helmet. It's like he's got that sort of
OSL.
Like the internal OSL up onto Abaddon's face there. And there's obviously some nice blending on the cape and the sort of cloak as well. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Like, if you look at let's just clarify, I am no high quality painter. I can paint reasonably well, but I'm not in any position to judge.
He is pretty good, guys.
And I don't know, like, when you're judging painting, I don't really know the categories. The first thing I would look for is basically painting accuracy, and we all know that photos highlight all the little mistakes. You're like, oh, I nailed that edge highlight, and then you actually look at the through the lens, and you're like, oh, it looks like I've painted it on with a marker pen.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would look at is like the quality of the accuracy, and I think that's definitely there to see. Even like if you're looking at kind of like the edge highlighting on his big front left leg, you can see that's like quite nicely done.
Yeah, it's nice done.
And as you said, like the blending on the cape, I think there's some really smooth blending there. It would be nice to have seen a back picture as well, I guess, just to see that.
Yeah, so I have got that. So for ease of presentation, I haven't got that for you today, but it's very nice on the back as well.
But I think, it just looks really smooth. I think, like, potentially, the base colour is an interesting one. Because
I wanted to call it on the base because it looks to me like Abaddon has decided to conquer like the fairyland from Shrek. That's that's what the base thing's bringing to mind for me. It's quite garish and bright and like
it is bright.
Happy.
And it does match the gold to an extent. I'm not sure whether a different colour might have been better. I really like the attempt at the OSL on the face.
Yeah, that's so grim dark. The glow, the light, glow of the lights.
It's quite hard to see like where that light is actually coming from, but again, that might just be the actual photo. But yeah, I think that's a really nice attempt, and there's a bit of smooth blending on the sword. Although
the other side of the sword is really
blue
really nice as well.
To the silver is quite a big jump, so maybe that would be a focus area. But other than that, I think it's a very good first entry.
Thank you, Thierry. Very, very strong. Next up, we have Sylvester's entry with the Commissar. I really like this, and I was chatting with Chris about this beforehand, where the Commissar is a small model, right? Small and dainty. I always find getting the detail out of a small and dainty model is very difficult, and what I love about this is you've actually got a whole bunch of different colours in and amongst the detail of all the sort of the ribbons and the decorations and the medals and all these different things, and quite nicely picked out. And it's a sort of quite wintry scheme, and I actually think the overall paint job is also quite wintry. And I like the kind of little crackling bits of detail on the purple of the cape as well. What do you think, Chris?
I think this model or this color scheme like blends together so nicely.
Yeah.
I think just it has, I mean, it's quite muted colors, but I think everything has its place. I think it's really cohesive.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like the thing that stands out to me there. Like it's a really cohesive model, and I think the paint job's really nice. Like you say, it's got that purple. It's such a nice purple. And it's got that nice effect. Is it dry brush though? That's the question, Tom. Like, is it? I can't tell. Has the legs been dry?
I think on the clothing, I think so. But I think it gives a nice weathering look as well. So I don't hate dry brushing.
That rugged effect.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But no, I think this is a sort of model that at the tabletop, I think you'd be like, oh man, that's so cool. I bet that just looks fun to paint.
Yeah, 100%.
I could be wrong, but I reckon that whoever painted this, sorry, I don't know who, did probably enjoyed painting that model.
Yeah, I feel like they really went down the rabbit hole on this one. It's even little things like look at the little splash of bright blue and light on the medal there on the chest. There's these lovely little touches.
Very accurately painted.
Really nice. Fantastic job. So next up we have Stan, who's a chap we know well. He's a GSC player, and he sent in his Biophagus. This is a lovely model to paint, having painted one myself. It's a lot of fun. So you can see there you've got the little brightly coloured vials and cables. He's really gone for the which wire do I cut effect with red and green and blue and all sorts of different colours on there. Yeah. I quite like the contrast between the very vibrant sort of colouring and then the very rusty, dull metal on his sort of grabbing stick there. Mm-hmm. And I actually think his cape and his armour comes off very nicely as well with a couple of quite nice sort of pale shades. What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I think the white's a hard colour to paint.
It really is.
It's really hard to shade and highlight. And I think he's done a really good job there. And as you say, I think all those bright colours, I think they work. Really nicely. I guess the moving on thing would be like in terms of like the vials, there are a few tutorials out there on how to kind of get them look like they're bubbling and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's a potential step forward, but you can still see like you've got the level of the potion, and then you've got the glass part of the potion as well. I think it's really nicely executed.
Yeah, it's definitely more detailed than my Biophagus. I think he's picked out the the little aspects on the armor, and having things like the different colors for the lighting and the buttons on the chest piece and cabling and stuff. I'm lazy in that, so I'm very impressed that Stan's made the effort there.
Yeah.
And again, there's another wintry model. We like that. Two wintry
Got a
little guys.
little like beep thing across the middle of the chest as well.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a little
forest.
Darth Vader panel almost, right? And he's
Yeah.
got like the little buttons.
It looks like
there.
that heart rate type thing. He's got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little bip in it, which is quite.
So I think
very
that's
different.
really nicely done, Stan. Very, very nice. Okay, just check the chat for comments before we move it along.
They're all just bumming each other, basically.
Oh,
that's so good. No, that's so
Sam
good.
Dunn says that's a tidy Abaddon. Sam's talking about his chaplain. We haven't got the chaplain yet. We'll get to the chaplain. I agree with Andrew. I think the Commissar's really, really lovely. Really, really nice. So next up, we've got Steve. Thank you very much, Steve, because what we have here is old school Yarrick. Let's go. Look at this, Chris. Look at this. So let's talk about what's great about this. Firstly, this is an ancient Yarrick model. It's fantastic to see it out in the wild. And we've got an old school goblin green basing.
Yeah.
We've got a very vibrant, colourful approach, and I think that's tapped into sort of Yarrick sort of originally getting one of his claws, in battles with orcs. He's got the red claw. And what I like about this is just that this is how I imagine it's sort of like the scene from the final Batman film where Christian Bale's Batman's on retirement, happy somewhere. We all think Yarrick's dead, but actually it looks like he's just kicking it up in maybe the south of France or somewhere quite relaxed, just having a nice time. So it was nice to see Yarrick still out there. What did you think, Chris, of this one?
I think it's really nice of Steve to enter the first model he ever painted as a child. I'm joking.
Don't take this shit, Steve. You call him out. You cuss him.
Don't worry, guys. when I show you off my stuff for the Fix Plus one, you can all rip me. It's fine. No, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool model, and to actually try and take on a really old school model is certainly quite challenging. And I like
the metal ones are hard to paint.
Yeah, exactly. I like the color choices. The red and the grey and the yellow actually works like quite nicely.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for entering.
Goblin green basing is great.
It's all about the goblin green basing.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's maybe fully paint it. That would be
I don't think that's in Steve's style. Steve's going for something different here. It's a throwback. It's retro.
It is very retro.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Steve. That's awesome. A lot of fun. Right. Next up, we have Sam's Lematis. Boom, baby. This is
nice shit.
This is awful. Like this
it'll
is
look great
just
when it's finished.
Yeah, it'll look really good when it's done. It's just look, black armor is really, really easy to paint. Like it's so easy to get like really good depth and layers on black armor, and Sam's obviously just walked to a good paint scheme here. The basing is obviously better painted than any model I've painted, much less anything else. Like the detail and the sort of the layering on the sort of stone there is just ridiculous. I think he's found a way to make Lematis look a lot less like he's eating a ball gag as well, which I think is nice because that's one of the actual issues that the new model has.
It's certainly more angry, isn't he?
It's more subtle here. Yeah, I mean, what the hell do you say about this, Chris? This is very, very, very good.
He couldn't bother to take it off the paint handle, could he?
Yeah, no, he couldn't.
Lazy prick. Yeah, what's he playing at? Come on, throw it out, mate. You don't see that in Golden Demon, do you?
No. Honestly, quite remarkable.
I think, as you said, Tom, like the black is a really hard color to paint. It requires like such precision with your edge highlighting, and you can kind of see it there. Although that left foot is it a bit chunky on the foot.
If you're being critical.
You can see the non-metallic metal on the shoulder pad there. Which I really, really like. I think that shows just like a level of skill. And I think the face. Yeah. I think probably the face is the thing that shows the how smooth the blend is on the face. I think that probably shows the level of skill that Sam has as a painter. I think, and you've got the nice smooth gradients and shading on the bases, and everything works. Like that white base works really well.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Shadow.
It sets off the darkness of the model.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen Shadowkeeper Custody armies before, which are obviously black, and when they're on like white marble bases, like Lee Jones, he's done that. Like it just offsets really, really well, and he's kind of got that like that grey, that cold blue black goes nicely with the cold white of the base, and then he's got the warmth from the golds as well. So yeah, fair play, Sam. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Like, just incredibly impressive, Sam. Well done. So next up from Simon, we have this short custody boy.
Votan.
Yeah, the Vody Custody. I was just delighted to remember this model exists. That was my
Never
initial
seen it.
that was my initial reaction, because other than the release picture, I've never seen it in the wild. I couldn't tell you what it does in game. I've got no idea. I can tell you what a Blade Champion does because I see those, but I've never seen this fella out in the wild. But I like it. I really like. I like more subtle golds, and I think that's what we've got here. It's nice and sort of burnished and not as loud. And the basing is beautiful, right, with the sort of autumn leaves.
I was going to say that it really does stand out because it's proper. Like, I don't know whether he's got like the little pop out leaves or how he's done it, but yeah, like that autumnal feel is really nice.
Yeah, and I like the little gems as well. I think the gems.
Yeah, well, he's actually properly painted. Like,
he's done a proper effort there.
I'm painting Yvraine on my painting competition entry, and I looked at all the gems and I was like, no, I'm not painting all of those gems properly. So I did my traditional thing, which is gold and then Tamiya clear paint over the top. I was like, I'm not doing it. But yeah, fair play. He's actually done that. He's done that very neatly. I think, like, maybe moving on, the only thing I'd say is maybe the actual blade of the spear.
Yeah.
Maybe that could pop a bit. That could have been maybe whatever he's done for his. Otherwise, it could have been purple. Purple offsets the gem. That's nice. And then maybe just bring out that red cape a bit more. Like,
that's what I was thinking. I think I know it's quite a nice sort of darker color and darker scheme, but I think the red could have been allowed to pop a bit, right, to contrast with the rest.
It's probably a bit muted, but I think just I mean, that's looks like that corn red and washed with Nuln. Like, even if it was just an Evil Sun's kind of like overlaid or edged, I think that might have made it pop a bit more, because then it blends more with the oranges. You can have more of an orangey, because you've got quite an orangey brown on like the leather. So if you'd had that more vibrant cloak, it might have matched with the basing a bit more. I don't know.
Absolutely.
A stylistic choice, I think.
Yeah, but really lovely, Simon. Thank you, and nice to remember that this little short King Custodies is still
even that the army exists, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's very cool to see Ultimate Funky in the chat. He's arrived just in time, because we have his entry. It is the Orc Rocker. Look at this. We've got a guy putting his foot on a squig, singing out a microphone. I like this because it's just a cool pose. I think he's picked out all the classic colours for orcs. He's got a nice green, nice red, nice black, nice yellow going on. Everything you'd want in an orc model. And yeah, I really, really like it. I think he's picked out all the teeth and the tongue as well. I'm very happy with this as a model. I think it looks very cool. What do you think, Chris?
Where's the base, Dave? Come on, Dave. Sort it out. Can we be bothered to do the base?
I sent Chris one without a base for our painting competition, and he sent it back and said try again. So Chris, it was never going to fly with Chris to have no basing, I'm afraid.
No, I think this model has like such character, and I think when you've got like the big, like that large areas of flesh, it actually can be really hard to paint, especially when you try and go down that highlighting and like gradually kind of like building up the light and the dark and that sort of thing. I think it's actually really hard to do, and I think he's done a really good job there on the skin. And I think if you did go for like a base, even if I don't know what sort of base Dave has for Ultimate Fox says didn't use the spotlight base photo. Don't know what that means. I've been nobbled by Tom here. Oh dear.
Oh no, has he sent me a better photo?
Sounds like it. And you can both take it off the base, the paint handle.
Where did he send that?
Oh dear. Anyway,
I bet he sent it to the email rather than to me.
I wonder what colour that base is, because spotlight.
Let us know what it is, Ultimate Funk.
Yeah.
I've been nobbled by Tom here. Ultimate Funk, if there's an updated photo with the base photo, I haven't got it. A couple of people decided to send it to the email I used for the PayPal, thinking that was also where I wanted it. It was not. But anyway, if you've got it, Ultimate Funk, chuck it to me on Discord now, and I can let you know if it does pump you up. Unless he's just lying about ever having actually done that photo. Okay, so thank you very much for that.
Well, Dave, looks beautiful, mate.
Yeah, it's great. Next up, we have Jerry's, and he's got a Death Shroud. I love Death Shroud models. Look at this bad boy. So Death Shroud are just iconic. They're characters in their own right. Every model, that's what I love about them. Each one's basically its own little captain. or Lord, and I think he's picked out every little gribbly detail on this model. I really like the little edges, like the sort of little bit of the sort of on the edges, almost like sort of gums on the piping, so it looks like on the sort of teeth there, so it looks like got a nice sort of horrible gums there. I think he's got a few little flashes of colour with the orange and the greens and the pinks, which I always think is the key to Death Guard, because they can be quite beige, so you have to find those little spots
You've
of
got to try
colours.
and pop somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, so there's more photos with the all-round, and that the scythe is really nice and really weathered and rusted as well. And also, the basing is just immaculate, but doesn't detract, right? It's just nice, good, nice graded basing that keeps it, lets the whole thing pop.
Yeah, I think this shows the power of contrast, right? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it looks like it's painted with contrast.
I think it is contrast, yeah.
And it shows how wonderful contrast
It's
is.
so good.
Even on Space Marines. And contrast is amazing for skin and all those sort of things, like demons, etc. But on actual models with power armor, it's where it can be lacking. But this shows like kind of the power of it, of how effective it can be. I think maybe still could have like got a bit of edge highlighting, a bit of pop on certain areas. I think that might have just made the pop, because it feels like a lot of the colors are all the same sort of tone, right? So they're all that kind of mid-range of tone. So maybe if you had a bit more edge highlighting in certain places, that might have made certain things pop with a bit more vibrancy. And obviously sometimes it is nice to have something on the base as well, even if it's just like a tuft or that sort of thing. But no, it's a
nurgling, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. And if you had, any army that looked like was full of this, you'd be like, oh, that's a very pretty army. So yeah, good job.
Amazing. Yeah, really nice, Jerry. Thank you. And I've got to the bottom of the mystery. Ultimate Funk Dave had done a basing for his model, Chris, but he's gone for a sort of spotlight effect. So it's
isn't it?
It's sort of like there's a spotlight on the base. You can understand why I didn't necessarily immediately spot or pick that out. Sorry, Dave, for the confusion. And the spotlight is cool. I do like what you've done with that. Right, next up we've got Sai, and this entry nearly got lost in the warp because of my very old email, which was being used for the PayPal, but we've recovered it, and this is a Calidus Assassin, everybody. Look at this bad boy. This is ridiculous. This is lovingly converted. I think it's the Skaven Assassin as the base. Look at the work on that knife with the little highlighting on there, and then the lovely vivid blood, and he's got I think it might be a House Cawdor arm with the little flamer there from Necromunda, possibly. And then obviously potentially an Admech hat. This is, in terms of it's one of those classics where like there's like 3 or 4 different models going on in here, and then the actual basing is obviously very creative and very nice as well. So I'm very taken with this. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like I don't have a single like building models or converting models like talent bone in my body. Like I hate building. I could picture something, but I'd have no ability to do it. And here you've really got a clear case of Sai's had a vision and he just executed it. Like he's nailed the execution of it. Like no part of this looks out of place. This could just be a model. Yeah. And I think that always, like when you see a really cool conversion, you're like, oh, that'd be a great model to like build and paint. I think that's like that is a true indicator that he's done a great job. Like, and again, talking about like colors complementing and that sort of thing, I think he's done a really good job of that here. And because obviously like the brown drab and the rust is the overwhelming color, but then he has got like the little pops and that
little flashes at the edges that just lighten it up, right?
Yeah, so I think that's.
I always like any model that's got like 3 different greens going on in it as well. That's
I can definitely see Sotek greenness.
That
he just automatically wins. Like,
I like this guy as well because I feel like he's a good buddy to have with the Stilts Admech sniper as well. I think they could hang out together, both being very tall and assassinating.
Tall and assassinating.
Really well done, Si. That was lovely. Next up we have Chris, and Chris has gone with a Deathwing. I think it's a Deathwing Captain. It looks like it's a conversion on the Space Marine Terminator Captain from the Leviathan box. Look at this. So this is quite unique. This has got a few very cool things going on. Obviously, you got some Deathwing elements and Dark Angels elements being added to, I think, one of the Leviathan models, so that's extremely cool in and of itself. But then you've got sort of some quite fun approaches for the highlighting and some sort of cross-hatching for the fabrics on here, which is really, really cool. very volcanic, lively looking sort of tyrannid bio creature stuff on the basing as well. And it's that kind of, yeah, like pin highlighting almost, isn't it? I think, I don't know, I'm not a technical painter, so I apologize if that's wrong. But also I like seeing a bit of barbed wire on there too. So this has tons going on, and it's very, very cool, I think.
Yeah, I like. So there's different like aspects of analyzing. It's like in terms of just like the actual quality of the paint job. Like bone is like a really hard color to paint. Any light color to get those kind of that smooth transitions and not make it look like chalky, because that's a really common thing. I think that so the fact that you just look at the cream, I think he's nailed the cream. You then look at the greens. It's obviously a really stylistic thing. He's gone for cross hatching. Even like the kind of the ribbons and that, they're really bold highlights, but I think they blend in nicely with the model. Be interesting to see what the rest of the army's like.
Oh
And
yeah, I'm very curious how that looks en masse, right?
whether he's gone for it like across the board or whether this was just like kind of like a one-off thing. And in terms of the base, like, you know, there's an awful lot going on there, but I don't think it really detracts from the model. Like, you've still got the model. I think he's blended the colors nicely. I think it's as long as you're on board with that cross-hatching style, and
Yeah,
it certainly is style choice, but I think it's really cool. Like even like the freehand, like that's always there's you try and look for those little things to show like how steady's their hand. Like on the banner, you've got that freehand, and he's not just written the letters; he's kind of like gone for the full extra line
yeah,
next to the letters and stuff. So that must have taken a lot of time and effort. So
100%.
been really great, really great effort.
Yeah, very, very impressive, Chris. We really like that. Shout out to Nogal Matthew in the chat. Lovely to have you here. The guys are all very excited. They've got a few front runners. We'll see if their estimations match up to ours. So next up, we have, I think, Andy with a Spoilpox Scrivener. Check this bad boy out. So this is just classic Nurgle. Lovely, vibrant greens, lots of nice sort of washing and filling in contrast, just getting all the right colours in the right places. So they've got a nice photo for the back as well, and there's some quite loving freehand down the back scroll and things like that as well. And just every little detail's been picked out on what is a lovely model. I really like the sort of rusting and pick out on the metal either side of the scroll as well. I think that's actually very subtly done. There's more going on in there than initially meets the eye. And it's just getting every color in the right place and really making the model pop, and then a basing that really suits the sort of vibe and feel of the faction too. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, Nurgle has a clear look to it.
It really does.
And this is fully encapsulated here. I think for me, my favourite part is the mouth of the beast, because of those teeth. I think the teeth are
so
really
good.
nicely done. They're picked out really nicely, and the tongue there.
The tongue is also great, isn't it?
Also, just like the sheer accuracy of the scroll.
Yes,
like those like you could get them. I'm trying to find mistakes, and there aren't any kind of like bits where the scroll. I mean, I don't actually know the models. I don't know whether those scribe lines are actually already part of the model, whether he's free-handed them on. If he's actually free-handed them on, then entirely fair play.
But I think some bits are and some aren't. I think basically, he's definitely been very, very good with the detail.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's all kind of that same hue. I guess I'd be thinking, is there some place it could have popped a bit more on the base?
I guess something vibrant on the base would be nice.
Something like, you've got the Nurgling's eyes, that pops, because the Nurgling blends in with the model itself, it's the same green, and obviously it would be the same
perhaps
green.
A little toadstool or something.
Exactly that. It's the kind of, you want those points. Like, I remember watching a video once, and it was saying about how you want colours are kind of, you want triangles. Most triangles are everywhere in Warhammer, and it's like if you've got like a colour, you want it on your head, you want it kind of like on either side midpoint as well, just to create that cohesive thing. And I think maybe here it feels like it could do with something bright and vibrant on the base as well, to match like the monster at the top and the 3 circles on the scroll. But I think it's executed extremely.
That's the thing. I think there is lots of lovely detail on the model, but it's, having painted a lot of Nurgle myself, it's so easy to lose that detail on the way when you're doing this and struggle to kind of
it is the molded scroll. I knew it.
Yeah, but it looks great. And I say the
Still
free
got
hand on
paint
the free on the free hand on the back, which includes a naughty drawing, which I didn't include here, is excellent. So I really really like this. I think it's very 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 good. And they're just the Nurgle demons are just some of the coolest models in 40k. So. I like Ultimate Funk's comment that says, "What is this Scrivener off the top rope with the steel chair?" Very strong late entry indeed here. Very well done. So next up, we've got Justin and his servitor. Look at this little guy. Again, a little bit like the other Imperium models, we saw lots of nice little bright colours on there, some nice metals, nice effort to pick out the edges on the casing on the gun, and very delicate little flowers there on the basing as well. What do you reckon, Chris? Oh, I like the flesh as well. The flesh is a nice sort of off colour on the flesh.
I think he's got this model popping nicely. Like if you look at it, like, as I said, like on the yesterday's show, like having tried painting Yvain's face and like really fucking it up when trying to do it properly. Like I've always, whenever I watch videos of people painting faces, and I'm like, it looks so easy, and I've just never been able to get it right. I just go for a really simple thing. I think here actually he's got a really nice thing going on there. And let's face it is a hard model to paint like that as an old model. So fair play for trying to enter this and try and produce it to its best ability. I like the little flower as well, the purple. I like the bright colours. If I was being picky, I guess there's the highlighting on the leg there with the blue, but you can see the transitions, and in a perfect world it would be smooth so you can't see the colour transitions. And it kind of all fades in. But I think you've done a great job.
Yeah, I agree. And I think older models like the servitors are harder to paint as well. Like they're a bit of a faff, right? It's not easy to get as much of the detail out, but I think you've done a great job there. So very well done. So that is all our entrants. So obviously we've had a look. We've done some thinking. And a reminder that we had 3 prizes in sort of podium, as it were, who will be taking home a share of the entry fee. The huge entry fees and the huge cash prize that you'll all know is inevitably involved at this first go of this. And then there's also going to be a little prize for best concept / conversion as well. And what we'll be doing in future is, as this ramps up, we'll be ramping up the prizes and getting more ambitious. But as I said, for this time, it's just very much entry level prizes. But anyway, let's announce our winners. So, taking home first place.
You're starting with first place. You're not going to start with third.
Okay, I don't really think about these things like that. Okay, taking home third place.
Thank you.
Okay. Christ, guys, it's painting. Is Andy with the Sloppity, Scrivener, Spoilpox, whatever it is, the Nurgly Doodle. You know the one. He is, as I say, we really like this. I think it's really, really nice, really, really vibrant. Obviously, picking out all the detail on that scroll without any help, very incredible as well. So really, really like this one. So that is going to be in third place. In second place, go on, just a drum roll, Chris. Second place, we have Chris with his Deathwing. Really like the Deathwing. Very beautiful. I say quite a different approach. As I say, I think it's brave to take on a very different style and deliver on it like that. And we would genuinely be very interested, Chris, to see the wider army and see this approach carry through it. That'd be really interesting to see. Next up, so for first place of our sort of painted competition. Go on then, Chris.
Best in Plus.
Best in Plus for the painting competition. For the community painting, we have Lamarties. Sam. Very, very, very impressive work, Sam. It's just quite redonkulous.
Very pretty.
Just so pretty. And again, I cannot wait to see an army of these. Like the new Blood Angels models, all done to this kind of standard, would be just remarkable. So really, really talented. Really, really well done. And of course, taking home the prize for best concept / conversion, we have, drumroll, Chris, Sai with his Calidus Assassin, because that is a really lovingly done conversion, like just beautiful. As Chris says, a conversion that has you thinking this is just a model I've not seen out there somewhere is really very impressive, and that's exactly what we've got here. It's just wonderful. So yeah, that is it, guys.
Do you want to tell them what they've won?
Well, they know what they've won. So
they know. Okay.
Oh, I was sorry, Sai doesn't. So yeah, obviously, so sharing of the prize monies to all of the podium places. Sai, you will be winning a character, a 40k character model of your choice, which you can go and pick up wherever, and I will fund you. And obviously, he plays a certain Imperial Agents army who might or may not have got a bunch of new rules, and they have all sorts of fiddly little characters. So I'm sure there's something out there for you, Sai. But it can also just be a character for you to chop up and convert for a future one of these if you so wish as well. Very well done, everybody. As I say, so impressed with what you put in. We really enjoyed it. It was absolutely brilliant. Oh, Sam says, "Can I donate my giant prize pot towards someone's sub to the channel?" You most certainly can. Of course you can. You're a good man, 100%. Or you can pay it forward, put it in the pot for a future one, whenever you like. We'll chat behind the scenes and we'll work it out. As I say, we're really keen to keep going with this and do future ones. So if you guys have enjoyed it and would like to enter again, or if you haven't joined and you're curious about joining in next time, get involved in the Discord. We've got a community painting challenge channel down in there, and we will be opening it up and making sure everyone is clued up about the next one, which will start in a little bit of time from now. And we're going to put some cool, funky prizes in there, including possibly some things relating to a certain event, which we're going to be running not too far away from now. So if you're interested in perhaps competing in the painting competition to get involved with some prizes that will be event adjacent, 6++ event adjacent, then do get involved. Thank you so much to everyone who took part. And we'll see you again for the next round. Can't wait. Going to be really, really fun. That's it for us. Go and enjoy the rest of your evenings. Well done. You're all better painters than I'll ever be. See you later.
Bye. Bye-bye.